By royal order of Queen Charlotte, we call the bravest knights of the crown. The fortress is under siege. Our enemy is near. Make ready the army. Upwards of 70,000 strong shall fight to the death. Bring me the knights of the crown table.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Knights of the Crown Table podcast. I'm Myles, and today I'm joined by Matt, who's returning,
What's going on?
and our new guy, Kyle.
Hey, how's it going?
And so a little bit different format here, but we have got some overreactions based off of the good things that happened last week from the finally getting that win, and maybe one or two here from the losses. But first off, we're going to talk about the overreaction. We won't lose another match because Latanzio has got it figured out. So, Kyle, what do you think about this?
I mean, what he's finally figured out to put people in their correct positions, moving Bronico out of that left back spot where obviously it wasn't working out. I mean, obviously this is, riding that win, riding that high that we've had coming out of that. I know it seems like, we got the 3 points and man, we're moving the right way, but we got to remember we got, New York Red Bulls coming in this weekend. Yeah, it's great that he's got people coming in, but it seems like there's going to be even more movement coming up soon. So we're going to have to see. We're going to have to wait and see what other moves he does, because there's, people coming back from injury. There's people, moving parts all over the place. We'll hold off to see if he's actually got it figured out.
Right, yeah, it's it's up in the air. I mean, it's like he got it right once, okay? I haven't forgot about the first three. So we'll see kind of what happens there, but what do you think about it, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, the lineup was, I'm looking at it right now. It definitely a lot better than, for the first three matches. I wouldn't go so far as to say he has it all figured out yet. It's like, what are we going to do with Swiderski? Like, that could be another point here, but yeah, I don't think we can say he's got it figured out from just one game, but it's definitely a step in the right direction from what we were doing. So yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to say we won't lose another match, but I mean, I hope we don't, but
Right.
So let's see. Kyle, you want to get into the next overreaction?
Yeah, so this one right here, Charlotte FC fans, we are so either one way or all the other way. And this one right here, I think this came after one of the 3 losses at the beginning of the year. We should play in another lower league. I mean, I guess we're going USL, NPSL, who knows, so that we can win some more. So there's this thought of self-relegation so that we could finally get that taste of victory. Myles, what do you think of that?
That was first off, I remember this was a Facebook post, and we know how them Facebook groups work. They could be quite a little spicy there, and surprisingly enough, this was actually after the win. So I guess they liked that win, but
Oh wow!
I don't get it, because I mean, Orlando hadn't lost yet, and we gave them their first loss on the road. Add that. I'm sure if you remember the last year, that was kind of a tough one. Like trying to get that road win, felt like it was never going to come, but I'm glad that we finally were able to do that. But yeah, I think this is a bad overreaction. I mean, yeah, we haven't done great, but the teams that we've faced and that have beat us previously, like Atlanta, New England, and St. Louis, they're at the least second place in their respective conferences. Like, I feel like we've done better than we've showed, especially our record. But that's just kind of what I think. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, we should not play in a lower league. I mean, we've we've showed that we can hang with. Look at the Philly game last year. What was that? 4-0.
Yeah.
Paul Danny Rios, maybe.
Danny Rios.
Right before they went on the run to the final.
So yeah, I mean, you're not gonna have us playing like like it's the U.S. Open Cup every week against like Richmond Kickers or something like that. We just So this reaction was after the win.
Yeah, this was actually after the win. I guess like their thought was that like I'm glad we won, but we should just keep winning, and
I'll
basically,
keep okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, you don't want to go down. You want to play at the highest level. You know, that's why we're in this. So definitely stay in MLS, and we just have to. Latanzio's got to figure it out, figure out the lineup, and people are still probably trying to gel, and who knows? We may go on a winning streak here. I'm not gonna say we're definitely going to, but but wasn't it this time last year that we started to kind of get our legs under us?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
we've kind of positioned now to open up the season like we're doing.
Oh, what was that, Cal?
I said we've kind of made it like a tradition.
Yeah. Open up.
We lost.
Yeah.
Followed.
Yeah. Open up slow, and then
You got them right where they're right where you want them. Right where you want them.
right.
Right.
Yeah, sure. I just don't know about. I just don't know about this whole Swiderski thing. I don't know if we should play them. We should play Enzo. For however many minutes, and then bring Carroll in. But I might should hold off on that because that's looking like our next overreaction.
Well, I was gonna say I think that's a pretty good introduction for the next one. You want to go ahead and read the next overreaction?
So, third overreaction: Polish players are the problem with the team. So yeah, what do you think about that, Myles?
Basically to touch on that. I get the truth in it, right? Like, you take out Swiderski, and a lot of people have complained about Jóźwiak, and they're not, in the starting 11, and then we win. Both of our goals came without them, and I don't think it's 100% that. I genuinely, which we'll touch on later, I think that the defense was the main issue, but it's really refreshing to see them actually get better, even taking them out. I do see some truth in this one. I don't think it's an extreme like overreaction, because I do think we do play better without them. But I don't know, maybe we're gonna end up getting rid of one of the DPs at some point, but maybe this summer or something. But I don't know, Matt. What are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, with Jóźwiak, I don't want to dog him too much, because I see him trying. I see him giving effort. I mean, some people might say, well, here's a video or something, or, that I saw him not giving effort, but it seems like he plays hard, just for whatever reason. Just he's not scoring. he's just not making the DP impact that, it's basically like we only have 2 DPs right now. And actually, with how Carroll is, this situation with him, I mean, it's basically like we have kind of like 1.5 DPs, like Enzo and Carroll sometimes.
Right.
So, I think Carroll can be. I think he could be like a, or I think he can be like a little bit, keep the ball a little bit too much for himself. I think he could, or work on, maybe being like, maybe he feels like he's the DP. He has to score maybe rather than just, I don't know. I mean, he has provided us with, some exciting moments. I think back to the Chicago game. I mean, some just great footwork, and then to score that goal, his free kick goal, or set piece goal. I want to say versus Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, I've got that one on
So-
my phone.
So I mean, he does. He's has some moments of magic for us, but it's just I mean, look at Enzo already. Like, he has 2 goals in 4 games. And I mean, if he increases that, just a bit or keeps that up, he could have maybe around, double the amount of goals that Swiderski had last year. So we just need more. I wouldn't say that the Polish guys are all of the problem, but it's definitely things that they can do, or they can do better to help the team. So, and if that doesn't happen, then we could be looking at some exits in the summer. What do you think about it, Kyle?
Yeah, I just and being new to the sport, only watching it for the last, year and a half or so. Usually, he didn't seem like DP level playing when I was just, casually watching it, learning the sport. It was kind of like, oh, he's out there, obviously he's hustling, giving his all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't anything. Right. Now, I don't know if he was ever brought in, to score. I don't know if he was, more of a, distributor or what, but it just, there was never that connection with him that he's going to be this high level playmaker that's going to, put the ball in the back of the net, double digit times throughout the season. Swiderski, on the other hand, that's exactly what he was brought in to do. And he did that, did that for the most part last year. The thing with Swiderski that gets me, though, was the constant whining and flopping and, all the theatrics that went. Now, I know that's part of the game. That's part of the showmanship, all that kind of stuff. But it was almost over the top. And it was almost like once Enzo got here, Capetti got it, he kind of looked at it and said, oh, wait a second. Is that what I look like when I'm doing this? Or is that, maybe we'll let him handle that. And they've kind of played off of each other on that part where Carroll's kind of come back off of it a little bit. But no, for me, it's more of Jóźwiak than Swiderski. But we can't count out the Polish players yet. There's still one that's been sitting on the sidelines that's got to get his chance to be able to pull it back for Poland.
Okay.
Sobocinski. He's got to. If we can get him onto the field with this, with the mess that we have at defense, or that we had, I guess, before, Harrison Awful decided to figure out how to play again.
Play out of his mind, yeah.
But if he could come in and make an impact, which he's kind of, Christian Latanzio hasn't really got him in there yet, hasn't got him in there at all yet. If he can come in and make an impact, Matt, maybe there's hope for the Polish players, yet with our fan base.
Maybe Sobachinsky is maybe he's the savior of. I thought. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say last year he seemed like he was a good passer as far as maybe like long balls or
Yeah, towards
maybe
the end
like
of the
switch
year.
and play or something. But
Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I was saying, like, towards the end of the year, he had a significant impact. I mean, he was on the field more, and like there was a couple games where I remember like he was probably like the star of the defense, even like because last year it was Carujo went down, so he was out, and he had to step up, and he kind of showed up and was like he and Swiderski started doing better at the same time. It was like Polish power, and it's like it was hoping for more and more, and it looked pretty good, and I was able to kind of tolerate Uzak because we were winning. I feel like he kind of gets the first kind of smack on the wrists when we start doing bad or whatever. But yeah, but yeah, as a defender, he did really good towards the end of last year.
Let me look up on Fat Mob. So Sobachinsky, he's only played 9 matches, 0 goals, 0 assists, Fat Mob rating of 6.6 or 6.60. If you look at, Uzviak, let's see real quick. Let's see, Camille, 4 matches, 0 goals, 0 assists, Fat Mob rating 6.73. So it's like they're not that far off.
I don't
And
think that Uzviak even has a goal in all of his MLS career, does he?
I
No,
don't
he
think
hasn't.
so. I don't know what this is only for. Uzviak this is only for this season, but I don't know what his overall rating is from last year until now. But let's see.
'Cause I
Yeah,
know there
look,
was a stat that went around on Twitter where it was like something like 29 games or
it's
something,
like
no
26
goals.
matches.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
like 26 matches, no goals. For Derby County, where he was in 61 matches and only 1 goal.
Yeah, and that was also talking about because he was like he was pretty significant with the Polish national team, like because both him and Swiderski were like pretty prominent in that team, at least
Oh, he has.
as like a sub on. But now they're not even calling Uzwiak. I mean, Swiderski just got called, if I'm not mistaken, for duty for
Yeah,
the national team, but
for the Euro qualifiers or something.
I think so. Yeah.
So it looks like, let's see. So Uzwiak with Poland, it looks like 22 matches, 3 goals. So, I mean, he definitely doesn't look like, from a historical standpoint, that he's going to give you a bunch of goals. It just seems like he's going to give you play hard, maybe maybe press, but I don't know if they want. I don't know if they want him to be like that pressing machine, like Enzo or whatever. It just doesn't. Just historically, it doesn't look like he's gonna give us a bunch of goals. Looks like he's gonna play hard, but not. If you're paying him DP money to get you goals, it's not working out.
Right.
So,
So one last thing on the Sobachinsky thing. If what'd you say his FOTMOB rating was last year? You said it was like a 6.6 something.
Let me try to
6.60,
pull
I think you said.
Try to pull him back up. Sobachinski. So 9 matches, 5-mile rating, 6.60.
All right, so I'm looking at this year's, and I'm at the very end. 15 out of 15th is Tuiloma, sitting there with a 6.17 rating right now.
Wow.
Even Nathan Burns sitting there with a 6.42. I mean, I know these things. These numbers can all be, different from match to match, but you at least got to look at that, especially with Bill Tuiloma, who was supposed to come in and be an immediate impact for us on the defensive side, has been at times, he's hurt more. He's been almost a liability at times.
Yeah.
I think it's about time we see, maybe even a shot. I'm glad we've got, Bronico off the back line, but maybe it's time to see a Sobachinski in there to see just,
Right.
see where we can go.
Yeah, it's like, it really can't get any worse.
Right.
So, maybe just, throw Sobacop out there and, see what happens. I mean, like even versus Orlando, on the goal that Orlando got, it was like Tuiloma played the ball wrong, and then, obviously, Marks would want to say he had a good save, but then it bounced, or then it went to Orlando player and they scored. But yeah, I mean, we need Tuiloma to try to get up to speed, and I know he's, coming into a new team is, probably not the easiest thing, but yeah, we're missing, I believe we're missing Carujo, so I'm ready for him to get back, and throw Sobachinski out there, see what happens. That's what I say.
I agree with that. And that, like, when y'all were talking about that, I was like, this literally goes right with the next even couple of reactions, because, like, someone, and I saw this too, someone said that Bronico is a subpar player and he needs to get less time, if not being cut just completely. And I was like, this one blew my mind. Like, I feel like, what do you think about that one, Matt? I mean, I think it's pretty crazy. Or no, I'm sorry, Kyle. What do you think about that one?
Well, I mean, like, you're asking the guy to play a position that he maybe had played at one point in time in his career. Who knows? I mean, I know that's not his natural position. So I mean, that's like basing, you tell Shaquille O'Neal to go out there and play point guard. Well, yeah, you look like trash when you do that. It's not his position. That's not where he's strong at. And yeah, he's not a superstar level player by any means, but at this point in time, Bronico is he is the heartbeat of our team. Kind of along the lines of what we had with Fuchs last year, who was just kind of that vocal drive, the one that's going to be, the 100% for the entire game. He's that one that's just going to drive, and you really need that out there. I mean, obviously, yeah, we are giving up a little bit with him out there, but at this point, which direction are you going to go if Bronico's not out there? And like we've said, not on the back line, but more towards the midfield where he belongs.
Yeah. Because, like, it's night and day. Because I don't have the grades pulled up for the game, but they were significantly higher for the game where he played midfield versus playing as a defender. Like, he was just so much better. And when you said he's like the heartbeat and he's like the Fuchs of this year, I thought that was perfect because, like, he's such a good guy. I genuinely love that guy. He's so funny. And I don't know if you follow him on Instagram, but he's got like this like Brant Bronico haircut tournament thing going on right now where people vote every day for which haircut of his is the best. And it looks like the mullet's going to win, which I'm not agreeing with or anything, but the mullet's kind of winning right now. But he's such a good dude, and he's been getting so much hate for playing a position that he's not meant to play. And the other day when we played Orlando City, it was just like so much better, like that lineup. And I just want to say, Jalen Lindsey was so underrated. Like I feel like he's not talked about. That ball that he had to Copetti when Copetti scored his goal
yeah,
was insane.
That was
that was an insanely good ball. I mean, like that was to me that's something you would see like in the Premier League.
Yeah, and I agree too though with the point y'all made about Tui Loma because he's been kind of underwhelming. Like
Mhm.
he's been pretty underwhelming for that, and so maybe that's the next step of bringing in someone to kind of wake him up. Be like, hey, look, yeah, we know we traded for you and we brought you in, but nobody here has a solid spot, especially when mistakes continue to be made. Like, what do you think, Matt?
As far as Bronico is, needs to be, or needs to get less time. Yeah, that's a negative. Um, he had, let's see, for the Orlando match, he had a 6.7 rating from FOTMob. West, in comparison, Westwood had a 6.5, and Derek Jones had a 7.4. So he was, basically second in the midfield. I know. Apparently, Westwood got hurt. I
Yeah.
don't know if they're keeping him out because of like maybe concussion protocol or something. I'm not sure, but he looked, or from the pictures, he looked fine. As
it's
far
a
as
it's a thigh injury. He hurt his.
it's a thigh. Okay,
It's
Yeah,
here. They ruled him out Saturday, so he's not going to play Saturday. So that's one less player we have in the midfield. So Bronico's gonna have to fill a role.
gotcha. But yeah, I mean, you don't take, you don't definitely, we're definitely gonna take Bronico out because he's gonna, or he's probably gonna give you, 100%, if not 110, like every game. So yeah, that I can't agree with that he's a subpar player. Um, and needs to get less time if not being cut. Yeah, I can't agree with that. Um,
I thought it was ridiculous. I just had to bring it. I was like, I can't believe someone thinks this, and like,
I mean, now maybe if he was supposed to be a left back and that's what we were playing him as, and he was performing maybe like he did in the previous games, okay, you might say that, but yeah, I mean, in the midfield, if he's in the midfield, we need to have him there, um, if at all possible, like 95% of the time.
right?
But let's see, what were we talking about? Oh, my bad.
No, you just what is just talking about the defense and kind of the Bronco.
Oh yeah,
so
defense.
far.
Yeah, just for the defense, how do you guys think Malanda looked like against Orlando, if you can remember back?
I think it was pretty decent, right? Like, I mean, usually not hearing your defender's name is a good thing, typically.
Right.
So it's kind of like not hearing an offensive lineman name in football, but like in American football. But yeah, I think it was pretty good. I mean, what do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't anything that stood out that was like, he's not to that point where we're calling him out constantly left and right for what, kind of like what Tuiloma's doing or something like that. He just seemed like he held his spot. He did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, the only knock on him was from this season maybe the back pass or the pass back to Cisniega in the St. Louis game.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. That game still frustrates me because we could have won that, but we gave every goal.
And
I wish we
and
would
that
have won the New England game. I wish we could have got a. Think about where we've been sitting. If we'd have or won that game, I mean, the Atlanta game, that was a thrashing, and we just gave the St. Louis game away. But I really wish we'd have gotten a result from the New England game.
and especially for that goal to come as close to the end of the game as it did.
It was the 89th
Right.
minute, I think.
Right.
It was like, it's a dagger. I was like, okay, well, 1 point's not bad. And then it's like, no. It's like everything.
We're not allowed to have points until like the 4th or 5th week. That's how it works. We're just not allowed to have them.
I guess so. It's so frustrating.
And that frustrates you because you look at what St. Louis City is doing and how they're just,
Exactly.
they've just run roughshod over the league.
Yeah, they've made me a hater for life just based off of how well they've done this year so far. Like, they've had what I wanted, and I'll never get that. So, like, because I made a joke when we did the first one. I was like, after we lost to St. Louis, I was like, oh, well, they're undefeated. They've never lost a game in the series of their franchise. And, I mean, here we are, going into week 5. The same thing. It was just a joke then. Now it hurts, But yeah, it's insane.
Talk about if you can, Harrison a fool, because he got an 8.6 rating for this match. Basically man of the match. Marks had 8.2. If it wasn't for Marks, we might lose that game versus Orlando, or at least have it tied up. But did any of you see, Harrison? Were any of you watching him, or what are your thoughts? What were your thoughts on him, if any, that game?
He did good. He was very, of course, by the grade, he did good, but he did.
He almost scored.
Lacked. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I was, and that probably would have put him over 9 in the grade. To be honest with you, if he would have scored, that would have been like 9.5 or something. He had a phenomenal game. He was subbed off eventually, which is fine because I know he's kind of an older player and, he doesn't have the legs he used to have, but he did phenomenal. He's what we needed in that position. And I really absolutely loved Lindsey and Awful on like the wingback positions. I think that really helped us out. I think Melanda's a stud and he can stay there. Like we said, Tulum, I feel like it's just the main. And I know that's crazy to think, especially like if a Portland fan were to hear that, they'd be like, this is a great guy, take care of him, But Awful was not awful. That's kind of my stance there.
Yeah, Jalen. Well, never mind. We won't get into that because, we're gonna get into. We're supposed to get into like lineup predictions, or just.
Well, there's one more overreaction.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, Kyle, what's that overreaction?
So this last one here is looking at the performance that Marks had in this win over Orlando, saying that Cisniega was definitely the problem and that move on from him and puts Marks in as our full-time starter. That one, I can see him. I can see Latanzio going with Marks since he's got the hot hand. I don't know that I'm ready to completely write off Cisniega, and it seems like Kalina is just a distant memory at this point in time.
Right.
Which he's coming. He's still apparently he's back on the field. He's working, through some drills. He's not back with the first team yet, but he's still working in practice. to make that return. So we've still got him, and then we signed that goalkeeper a few weeks ago. I think it kind of stashed him on the Crown Legacy, but we've got other options that are out there. I'm not ready just to get rid of all of our everybody that we have just because of one great game from George. Now Marks did a great job. He had some amazing.
Yeah.
But got to remember, I don't think it's time to write off Cisniega and Kalina just from the one performance.
Yeah, I mean, as good as Mark's played, I don't know if you can. Let's look at. I mean, could Cisniega have stopped the goal versus New England? You can make a case for yes. Would Kalina or Marks have made that save? Because I'm gonna tell you, Marks made a really nice save. I cannot remember who was against in the Orlando game, but he was like right at the near post, and I want to say he just had a strong hand and just palmed it away or batted it away, and that could have or that could have gone in, and that we could have been sitting here talking about a tie versus Orlando. And I mean, I still think Cisniega, he made a great save in the St. Louis game. But I think you have to go, or you might have to go with Marks for the Red Bull game just based on how he played. But I'm not Latanzio, but if you're going off, the previous performance, you would have to go with Marks, I think. But I just can't, until Marks, if he has a bad game versus Red Bulls, if he starts, then you might have to go back to Cisniega. But start Cisniega. If you start Cisniega with the lineup that we had versus Orlando, if you start that lineup versus New England, Atlanta, and St. Louis, we could be, and Orlando, we could be talking, who knows where we would be right now. I mean, so.
Well, looking at it like this too, Red Bulls, they're not scoring at a high clip. Like, I mean, they've scored 3 goals, this season. So it's not like they're coming in scoring 3, 4, and 5 a match. They've scored. They scored 2 against Columbus in their win last week. 1 in their draw with Minnesota, and then it was a 0-0 draw against Nashville, and then they didn't score any against Orlando in their opening week. They lost that one 1-0. So it's not like they're coming in scoring at a high clip. So
right,
we can keep that in mind as well.
That's a good point.
I still say I'm with you. I say we keep Marks in, let Marks continue with the hot streak. If he could come in and get a clean sheet, or maybe even just keep it to a one goal game where we could maybe get us a couple. That might go a long way with inserting him there as that starter until either Kalina gets back or he takes that role.
Yeah, or wouldn't it be crazy if he just went off and then Marks is our starter and Kalina and Cisniega on the bench? That'd be nuts.
That would be the most thing ever.
Right.
And I wonder, if Kalina was having back problems, or was he having back problems last year, and is that why we saw that, or the one goal that stands out is versus Columbus when I believe it was Zelarayan scored from basically midfield on a set piece, I believe, and it went over Kalina's head, right?
Right, yeah.
I don't know if that was just was his back hurting then? Like, was he really like in a whole bunch of pain or something? Or
I think you just
so yeah.
caught off guard on that one, but
So how how much did his back play into his performance last year? I guess nobody knows but him really, but
true.
That's interesting. If he gets back healthy. This says on see Fight Mob expected return for Christian Kalina late April. So
But
about another month.
honestly, I feel like this is a good problem to have, right? Because I feel like they're all fairly quality. Like, I don't agree
Yeah,
with
yeah.
I don't agree with the overreaction that like Cisniega was the problem because, like, for instance, talking about the game against New England at home, I don't think that was his fault at all. He played fairly well. Just the defense, we gave up the ball, and then the defense just crap the bed. Like nothing happened, and then they just conceded, and then if you go
And he
to
got hung out to dry on the Atlanta game.
right, yeah, he did, and when it rains, it pours. It just kind of happened, and so I get the change, and definitely I do see Marks starting this weekend, but I'm not going to be upset if Pablo starts. Because like Marks has the hot hand, and he did amazing, and there were some insane saves. He was also saved by the offsides whistle a couple times, but it was either way.
Thank goodness for offside.
Yeah, right. And then you throw him Christian Kalina, which I love the Croatian wall, man. I like him a lot. It is a business of what have you done for me lately, and unfortunately, if you've been injured, then sometimes that's nothing, But I'm hopeful.
Let's see.
Which there were some other talking about injury. There were some other big news that came out with what was it? Vinny Mello
Yes.
being out on the injury report now, which we might actually see him in a Charlotte FC jersey at some point in time.
I want it.
What if he just comes on and just lights it up?
I'm ready. I'm here for it. I'm ready.
What if he just comes on
Get
like
him
Wayne-
back there. We'll get Adam Armour back out there. We'll throw all those guys back out there and just let them light it up.
he starts balling like Vinicius Jr.
Yeah, that's right. I was so happy. I was like, I got a Vinicius on both of my teams. All right, but speaking of Vinicius Jr., did you know he visited Charlotte last year? I think it was, or the year before
tempt
last.
me.
He was in Charlotte. I would love.
Are
He
you
was at the
serious?
Panthers Stadium. Yeah, there's pictures. He was at the Panthers Stadium.
What?
He went to a game. Yeah, I'll have to find it and send it to you, show you after this. But like, yeah, he was at a Panthers game, and I was like, I hate he has to see the Matt Rule era, but at least he got to come to Charlotte.
Myles, you need to pull some strings as a Madrid fan, man.
Yeah, I am. I have to go to get a flight to Madrid and be like, listen, all right, I can be a Brazil fan for you. I can just come to Charlotte,
We got all the Bojangles you want, man.
Yeah, let me tell you, Bojangles, you go get chicken filet biscuit, and then go get you a milkshake from Cookout, and you'll be happy as can be in life. That's all you need right there.
You won't want to leave.
Exactly. But
Let's see. Yeah. So I'm definitely, or maybe Vinny comes on as maybe as a sub, and like, what if he just balled out and then he's like, can you like upgrade? Could he like be a DP if he just balled out?
right. He just wants that
Like
money.
replace Uzbiak with the. All right, I'm sorry. Shouldn't say that really.
You want to use React out already? No. Okay. But
I don't want him out. I just want some more production out of him, man.
yeah, maybe it'll happen. Maybe sitting on the bench, it gets people going, and makes them kind of lights a fire under them. Sometimes a player needs that.
Yeah.
But hey,
For
we
sure.
have 2 matches this weekend. You know that? We've got, of course, Saturday. We're facing Red Bulls. And then Sunday is the premiere of the Crown Legacy.
Crown Legacy FC, right?
Yeah, at 3 p.m. They're saying pack the Plex because they're going to be playing at the Mecklenburg County Sportsplex at Matthews. And then we're at the bank on Saturday. I'm excited.
We better win.
Both.
We better
clean
win.
sweep this weekend, you know?
Like, what if it's flipped around? Like, because didn't we have an awesome home record last year, or at least a good one?
Yeah, don't.
Now we're like we're winning on the road now.
that. Can't win it.
Road Warriors.
Road Warriors, oh my. But yeah, so what are we thinking for the match against Red Bulls this weekend?
Or Red Bulls.
Yeah, we're gonna get our predictions here in a second, but what do y'all think?
Kyle, what do you think, man? I'll let you go.
Last year, watching the Red Bull matches, I remember it got a little chippy, especially when we played in New York. Like they didn't seem to want to stay upright. When I say they, I mean the Red Bulls didn't want to stay upright for any period of the game. They were always trying to draw the foul. They were trying to roll around, waste the time. And I know that's kind of almost a reputation that they kind of have for that. But in my mind, I saw them kind of as a budding rivalry, kind of that north-south rivalry going on there.
Okay.
And I know they that the Atlanta rivalry is a big one. But I kind of saw this, especially between just feeding off of watching with the players, kind of their body language. It seemed like each match we played them was a little more chippy. So it's I'm interested to see what the dynamic is this weekend, especially since they were a little more like that, where they kind of went in a little more of the gamesmanship of the match and trying to draw those fouls against us. And who knows what would end up thrown out there. Latanzio is probably cooking up something right now that he's getting out of a Ted Lasso book or something. Who knows what he's up right now. So I'm just interested to see what we do after coming off of a win, how we respond to it.
Right, exactly.
I dropped a meme I made in the notes right there. You have to see that. I'll have to post that one too.
Let me see where is it?
It's at the bottom of it.
I like it, Myles.
Thank you. I'll tweet it out. soon.
Is it in Twitter or?
It's on our docs. It's on the doc. Talking about the match. I made this at the beginning of the year because we kind of did. We built a rivalry with New York Red Bulls, and every game was chippy. I remember because we faced them, one at the bank, one in New York, and then we had the U.S. Open matchup.
Right.
And I'm still upset about that one. We faced them, and it's like we were giving them a lot of crap because, they don't have their own stadium. So it was like we were at some kind of venue that had 5,000 people, and it was like
I don't even know what kind of venue that was.
And I remember the camera work that we ended up getting from.
It was one at the 50-yard line, wasn't it? Or mid pitch, right?
And it was like in 180 whatever. It was the lowest resolution they could find. I think they had some high school kids running the camera because they lost the ball numerous times all around.
Right.
It was a horrible.
Yeah. But yeah, so what are we thinking prediction wise? How are we feeling?
Oh man,
I think this is a 1-0 game either way. Neither team is scoring at a high clip. I know we're giving up goals. A lot of them are, self-inflicted, but they're not scoring a ton. We're not scoring a ton. I could see this being a 1-0 win. I'm going to say we're coming out with the 1-0 victory.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Any prediction who scores that goal?
I'm gonna go Enzo. He's gonna continue. He's gonna get him another one.
All right. All right, Matt, what you got?
Yeah, this one is. It's like, are we going to see the team that we saw versus Orlando, or are we going to see team that we saw versus St. Louis and Atlanta, basically? So, because we're not playing good at home right now, so it's time to give the fans something to cheer about at the bank. So, but it seems like, Latanzio, it seems like we're not, won't be going with that any crazy lineups again, hopefully. So, and I believe the players, want to win for the fans at home. I just hope they're not like trying too hard to. I hope they're not trying too hard, and overthinking things at home, because if you want the fans to do, be happy and be excited, and just don't want, you don't want that to translate to, overthinking things and either just doing too much. So interested to see, if we can come out and play like we did versus Orlando, and because Red Bulls, they're gonna try to press us, right? I mean, isn't that what they do?
Very similar to
So,
St. Louis.
and that's that's kind of worrisome. I mean, if we revert back to how, making mistakes like we did at St. Louis, we could see, giveaways and things like that. So we're gonna have to be crisp with the passes, no stupid turnovers, things like that. So, well, if I have to give a score, let's say I'm gonna go 2-0. We finally get it done. We shut out Red Bulls at the bank. Goals by Enzo and let's see. Let me see. All right, I'll go Enzo and Bronico.
Ooh, I like it. All right, I was writing that down so we had it. And I agree with a lot of what you said, like how we have to play. I really hope we can be more like we played in the Orlando game at home. Hoping that that play style is success. Because I know like we led with crosses for the longest time. That was like a big thing that we were known for, was like we led the league in crosses, but of course results were not coming because of that. But I feel like now it seems to be nice. I hope we have a very similar lineup to the one that we had against Orlando, maybe a couple of tweaks. But yeah, I'm going to actually say that I think that we get it done too. I think that we figure out the scoring and it just snowballs. I say that we win 3-1. I'm going to say 2 for
3-1.
Copetti, and I'm going to say Santos gets one.
Okay.
So he gets his substitute goal.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So what about the formation? Are you starting Lindsay and a full again, or and Gaines? Like, I just feel like Gaines, like, even though like you can't teach the kind of speed that he has.
Right.
Like, and for that reason alone, like, I just think he has to be on the field, like, because because if he has the speed to just get behind the lines. And I mean, who else are you going to put on the right wing that has that kind of speed? So, and people might, he gained, he didn't have a really high rating last game, but just the fact that he just, what his speed brings is like, I just feel like that speed kills, and I just feel like you have to have him out there. And then maybe we see Nuno. You would think Nuno starts right in the midfield.
Yeah, I
If
think
Westwood
I think
start for Westwood.
I could see that. I could also see Bender starting.
But we've got. I think we see Hagart for the first time coming in this week. I think
you got some inside information.
No, no. I'm saying, with Latanzio, you never can tell, but put Nuno in there as that midfielder, and then bring Hagart in. I mean, he was on the bench, for the Orlando game. He just didn't make the field, but running kind of thin at that midfield, we'll need a sub somewhere. Maybe he's able to crack the field.
He might. I talked to Latanzio, and he told me that Clena's back, and he's going to be starting at striker. Okay, and he's gonna figure it out. It's going to be very interesting. Okay, it's like Cisniega, Marks, and Clena will all be in the starting 11. No, I'm picking. But that would be something crazy we've seen this year. But so who do y'all think is going to be the goalkeeper?
I gotta say Marks.
Marks, yeah, it has to be Marks.
Until if he has a bad game, he might go back to. I want to see Cisniega out there with the same lineup that Marks had.
Yeah.
So how would he do if he has a lineup like that in front of him? So, if people are critical of Cisniega, I mean, let's give him a shot, with the same lineup or the same formation as Marks had.
Yeah.
But I would say Marks, yeah. Oh man. I just hope, a lot of people, hope the stadium is packed and that they can give the bank, something to cheer about and get the first home win. And if we play like we did versus Orlando, I think we got a good shot at doing that.
Yep.
I agree. I think it'll be packed. If we would have lost our last one, I would have been worried about
for sure. Since we won
25,000, but I think we'll probably clear over 30,000 fans this weekend.
Yeah, I think coming off going to reinvigorate some people that were on the fence. I think they'll come back out and give it, another shot or two. And if we can come out with a win against New York, we'll be well on our way to restoring a lot of the passion that 3 games in a row lost.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if we can win Red Bulls, I mean, you would think we would basically be right back in it as far as standings go, but depending on what the teams ahead of us do, but yeah, we really need to get that first home win and get that behind us.
I agree. Well, hopefully we can get that done this weekend. We all predicted a win, so let's hope that there's no kind of jinxing there. But I don't know. I always feel like I'm going to predict us to win pretty much because I always believe in the team unless we're just not good enough. But
right now, if we'd have lost versus Orlando, with that lineup,
I'd probably been like,
then I might be like, okay. But you know,
I actually predicted us to lose against Orlando, and we won. Maybe I should just pick us to lose. If we lose this
All right,
week, I'll do that.
all right,
for
Miles,
the rest
change
of
your
the year.
prediction. Change your prediction to 3-1 Red
Yep.
Bulls.
3-1 Red Bulls.
There
Copetti
you go.
2 own goals. Santos 1 own goal. No. All right, well,
Oh man,
Oh man.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready for Saturday.
so match day 5. Here we go. We're 3 points away to tie for 6th, which is, I mean, everybody else will play their own matches and points will change, but we're only 3 points away from 6th place. So it's early. It's early. I still believe playoff
Still
push
early.
is coming. I promise.
Like I said at the beginning, we got everybody right where we want them.
That's right. Yeah. No more losses. I agree with the first overreaction. No more losses this year. In all competitions.
Latanzio is Carlos Ancelotti.
That's right. He knows.
Supporter Shield, MLS Cup, here we come. We got it.
That's right. And then next year, we're winning the CONCACAF Champions League. It's happening.
We're going, or that'd be awesome to go to, because Seattle, they were in the Club World Cup, right?
Right.
So that'd be awesome. Like, what if Charlotte? And I know I'm just hypothetical here.
Right. No, I know what you're gonna say.
What if we one day we got to that?
Then if it's Charlotte and Real Madrid, I knew that was coming because I've actually been asked this before, and I would 100% be with Charlotte because it's like
Man,
I grew up with that, but like this is my home team. I've been here since the start. I'm part of this history. Like we own Chelsea. Like we gotta.
Oh yeah, for sure. If Charlotte made it to the Club World Cup final, and they were playing Liverpool, I mean, I have to go with Charlotte.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of silverware won by Real Madrid. It's time for Charlotte.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So you got any final thoughts, Myles?
I think that's it. I think
Just win.
Good. Just win, baby.
Just win.
All right, well.
And yeah, everybody out there, yeah, just comment, like, subscribe, whatever, and give us some feedback. We got some good feedback from the first podcast, so holler at us.
For sure, yeah, we're available at CLT Crown Knights on Twitter, and then I've got it's the same thing for Instagram. There's a link it's a link tree on there that has links for everything, including the podcast and the bio. So definitely check that out, and we appreciate it. And but yeah, you've had me, Myles, you've had Matt, and Kyle talking to you. Welcome, and I hope you enjoyed the Knights of the Crown Table. And we will see you next week after we win again.